My Rebbe, Yedidya Kramer, filled in. So, but we haven't missed a day. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Purim. I was supposed to give the shir. For some weird reason, I didn't make it. I was ganz drunk. So that's that. So two lessons that you can learn for Daf Yomi from that thing is that when you have that urge, when you have that idea, don't push it off. Don't say the next Masechta. Go ahead and do it immediately. We started in Avodah Zarah Daf Chav Ches, in the middle of a parak, without a Mishnah. I keep on saying it because it's important to remember. It was in the middle of a sugya, in the middle of a line. But if we would have pushed it off, I don't know that we would be here today. So I want to thank all those that were there the first day, the ones that came up with the idea, Moshe Ehrenfeld, Chaim Kornbluth, and every single guy that was there the first day, the Nachshim ben Aminadavs, the ones that jumped into it without knowing what they were getting themselves into it. And most of them are here today. You see from the pictures, our turnover is very, very low, Baruch Hashem. And Be'ezer Hashem, we should all finish Shas together. Amen. And just for 1 minute, Shmuley Kuperstein wants to say a few words. I have no idea what he wants to say. I hope they're nice. Go ahead. We continue with the theme of last week that we had a guest speaker this week. Here, stand up. Here. Okay, fine. Yeah, Suba Motzi Shabbos. That's right. Very good. Very good.
So, one of my older daughters had an issue with anger. She would get upset, and I would get upset that she's upset. She would get upset that I'm upset that she's upset. Everybody was upset. So I recalculated, and I decided to set an example. She would get upset. I would walk over.
Close it, otherwise we all have to stand up.
I know something is bothering you, but you could say it in a nice, pleasant way. It didn't help a lot. And after a few weeks of doing it, one day my younger son comes up and he says to me, Abba, you always tell me that I need to respect my older sister because she's my older sister. You also respect my older sister because she's my older sister, right? And that left me with two insights. One is that you put out the message, you never know who picks it up. And second is you never know what message he picks up. And usually both are not what you intended. When Eli asked me last week to come this evening, so my first thought was he's trying to make fun of me. Or even worse, he's trying to embarrass me. See, I was here, like he said, in the first day of the shir. I'm not here now. Baruch Hashem, I have a chavrus every morning. But still, I'm not a part of the shir. And that's embarrassing. But then I thought about it again, and I realized that I am a part of the shir. When Eli came to town, I remember he seemed to me like a geschmack businessman. They don't work together. It's a geschmack businessman. And my chap of a businessman's role in Avodas Hashem was to be supportive of Torah, to have, to be koivei itim with Torah, to do chesed. My chap of a geschmack guy's role in Avodas Hashem was to make people happy. It's a big thing to make people happy. From this shir, I learned that the role of every person, of every Jew, is to take everything he has, to take his talent, his passion, his position, and to turn it into Torah. Everything he has, and to turn it into pure Torah. If you're a Gishma guy, start a shir that everybody will talk about. If you're a businessman, start a shir with 20 people, with 8 people, and turn it into 1,000 people, 16,000, 100,000 Mitzvah Hashem people.
Amen.
Mitzvah Hashem. So I am a part of the shir, and this inspired me in many different ways, and it set my own expectations to higher. And I thought about it, and I said, actually, I am a part of the shir. I'm a part of this part of the shir. And I wish everybody to also be a part of this part of the shir.
Shkoyach. Do we have time for a niggin? Okay, go. Good, nice niggin. Let's go. It's Malava Malka. So after the shir is over, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to have sushi and pizza. We couldn't get it quick enough, the stores, until they open and everything. So it's coming afterwards. You can nash on whatever you have. Save some room for the sushi and the pizza. And now the Kavod Motzei Shabbos and the occasion. Before we start the shir, a Gishmak and Niggin started off.
I just wanted to say, a few days ago we did Rachim No Hashem Lakeinu in the Gemara, and we didn't do it, but I think we'll do it all now together in the Chvoid the Matzah.
Rachim Lo Hashem Elokeinu Rachim Al Yisrael HaMechor Rachim V'ya Yerushalayim Yirecho Rachim Mishkan Kivoidecho Yom Nachuz Beis David Meshichecho V'al Bayis HaGodol v'HaKodosh Rachem, Rachem, Rachem Shkoy all the way in the bottom. Omar Shmuel. What? Omar Shmuel. Question. Is there a problem halachically to daven with gum in your mouth? And if there is there a pasuk anywhere that tells us if you're allowed or if you're not allowed?
It says over here, pee your mouth,
huh?
fill your mouth.
Very good. That's actually what the Gemara says, but for that we're going to have to get to the last words of today's daf, so you can't leave. But there's something better than that. It's called sushi. All right, Omar Shmuel. Loilam al yoitzi odom esatzmi min haklal. So we learned in the Mishnah that when you say Zimon, the person that says it out, Rabbi Sai Nivarech, do you say Nivarech or do you say Baruch Hu? So the Mishnah says, if there's 3 people, you say Nevarech, let's bless Hashem. And if there's 4 people, the 4th person says to the other ones, Baruch Hu. Says Shmuel, La'olam al yoitzi odem esatzmi min haklal. It's better that he shouldn't tell them what to do. He should be part of it. He should say, Rabbi Say Nevarech, 4 people like we do today. Nah, and what about our Mishnah? B'shloisha v'hu oime Baruch Hu. If there's 4 people, you tell them, you say, you bless Hashem, you Baruch Hu. Says the Gemara, Ema av Baruch Hu. You could, if you want to, you could tell them, it's better to say Nevarech, like we do today. If you want to, you could. So we're going to learn on this Amud, we're not even going to turn the page. There's a Mishnah that says this exact thing, that if you have 6 people, you could divide them into 3 and 3. You do 2 zimons out of 6 people. Ad asara. But once you have 10 people, you can't divide it. Shh, don't turn around. That's my bchar. Big. That's a big schus. Wow. I think it's the first time in 2 years that he's been here. Wow. On the anniversary. Beautiful. Yeah. He thought I was messing with him. I told him there's a bunch of guys that came. He came to see for himself. All right. Shkoyach. Wow. It's a real guest of honor. Oh. All right, so we learned Shisha, he's learning Brachos now. By the Chabura. Everybody knows the Chabura. Barry Klein. It's an awesome place. You learned the Sugya? Daf Nun? Oh yeah, okay, good. No kashas though. No holding. He's holding. Tanina, Shisha nechlakim hadasar. If you have 10 people, you don't want to break it up to 5 and 5 or a bunch of 3s. Why? Because you're not going to be able to say Elokeinu. If you say that to say Nevarech like we do today, that's why if you have 6, you can break it up into 2 groups. It's fine because you're going to say Nevarech. Eliyam is Baruch Hu Adif. But if it's better for one to tell other people what to do, Baruch Hu Adif, I might nechlakim. Now let me ask you a question. What about today in Shul? We say Baruch Hu es Hashem Amvarach. You're telling the congregation to say Baruch Hu. Why is that any different? We just said it's better. It's better to say Nevarech. It's not to be Moitzi Atzmin Min Klal. You should be part of the whole congregation. A guy should get up to the Torah and say Nevarech Hashem. Why Baruch Hu es Hashem? Okay, but right now you're Yotzim Min Klal. So Taisus points it out on the bottom of Mem Tesam Beis, and he says because he's saying Baruch Hu es Hashem HaMevayrach. We are blessing him. So he puts himself right back into the Klal. Okay, but the Gemara points out, if Baruch Hu is better, you're telling them what to do. So why, if you have 6 people, are you allowed to go to 2 groups of 3? You just ruined the Baruch Hu. You need at least 4 people to say Baruch Hu. Elalav Shema Mino Nevarech Adif. From here you see that saying Nevarech is better. Says Taisvis, Nevarech Adif, Lav Dafka Adif. Elokei Adadininu. You don't see from here that it's better. All you see is that it's the same. But Rashi points out, if you look at Rashi says, but once it's the same, if you have the option of saying Baruch Hu or saying Nevarech is better. Why is Nevarech better? Because now you're not Moitzi Atzmi Min Klal. You're part of everybody. Fine. Tanya Name Achi. Bein Shama Baruch Hu, Bein Shama Nevarech. Doesn't matter if a person says Baruch Hu at Zimun or he says Nevarech, ain't Taivsin Oisel Kach. You don't correct him. Vanagdonin, what's a Nagdon? A Nagdon is a perfectionist. Taivsin Oisel Kach. They'll point it out. I thought when I was reading this has the same exact letters as Nudnik. So I thought this is where the Nudnik comes from. The Nudnik, he points it out. What? Hold on. Do you know what a Nudnik is? What is the definition of a Nudnik? Somebody, they ask him, how you doing? And he tells you how he's doing. That's a Nudnik. Yeah. There's no Nudniks. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When he started putting the criticism after the time of Balaam, when they went over to Balaam and moved away from the scroll. So they couldn't be electronic.
Why the opposite? Maybe they knew how to read it without Nakudas. They were able to read it without.
He brings the oral that it's not electronic, it's not Roman.
Right. There's something.
And that Roman is a prompter.
They're what?
A prompter.
Aha.
So when he pulls out the...
There's some not Goris Nakdonim than the Goris Nakronim, which are a prompter. Because they didn't have Nakudas. He's saying it couldn't be that they were Nakdonim. Nakdonim is Malosha Nakudas, and they didn't have Nakudas then. So there's no such thing as Nakdonim, he's saying. Okay, that's why they take it out. If you look on the side. Now the Gemara goes through, like we said, there's no Sidurim in those days. People had a bench by heart, and they made up their own things sometimes. And if you weren't a Talmud Chacham, you messed up in different areas. And the Gemara says how there's at least 4 places where we could catch you and see that you're not a Talmud Chacham. You're not Ma'aretz, you're a Bur. Keitzad, Rebbe Omer, Uvetuvoi, Harei Talmud Chacham. If you say like we say today, Uvetuvoi Chayinu, then you show you know what you're doing. No kunst today, because we just read it right out of the Siddur. Umetuvoi, but if you say with a mem, mituvoi, meaning I'm using HaKadosh Baruch Hu only is doing some of his good with me. Harei Zebur. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't. He's not giving me everything. He's not doing what he could do. Mituvoi, a little bit. That's a bur. Amaretz. Whether or not he has to go back, machloikas. Omelei abayler avdimi voksiv umiberchascha yivayrach. Beis avdecha loylam. There is a mem here. Miberchascha, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's bracha, he's going to give blessing back. Says the Gemara b'Sheila Shani. When you daven, here's the concept of davening. Don't be a chazer. Don't ask for too much. Ask, don't. It's too much. I think Rashi says the lashon of gaiva, if I'm not mistaken. So,
60% thank you and 40% ask.
who said?
I just saw it today at night. Beautiful. No, I just saw it. No, seriously.
Sheni mei roish, Rashi says. Lishol shelik doila. It's a gaiva. I want a lot. He says 60-40. Fine. Zok the Gemara b'Sheila nami oksiv harchiv picha v'amaleyu. But also when it comes to tefillah, it says, the Melech says, harchiv picha, because Baruch Hu tells us, open your mouth, meaning daven as much as you want. V'amaleyu, whatever you ask for, I'm going to give to you, even a lot. Ahu b'divrei Torah ksiv, we must say, and there's also a big yesod. When it comes to Torah, you could ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we should all ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we should finish Shas together. You could ask a lot. Things that are seemingly impossible, you could ask when it comes to Torah, though. Now we're continuing with this theme. If you say properly, B'tuvay Chayinu, then you're Talmud Chacham. Chayim, Harei Zebur. Why? What's the difference, Chayinu and Chayim? Chayim means their life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives them life, not me. I'm not part of it. Chayinu, our life, our life. Zok the Gemara, Nar B'loi, Masni Ibcha. They're Nar B'loi, they said the opposite. Chayim is better, they say. Why? Chayim means all of life, even the life in the safari, everything, all life. Chayinu is just us. Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu cares just about these 3 people sitting here. No, the halach is not like them. You're supposed to say Tvoy Chayinu and not Chayim. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Nevar Shechal Mishaloi, Harei Zeh Talmud Chacham. Lemisha Achal Mishaloi, Harei Zebur. In other words, that there's a bunch of people that are providing sustenance, they're providing food. One of them is the host of my meal, and I'm thanking him, not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's wrong. Omer Le'Rav Acha B'Rei D'Rav L'Rav Ashi. V'ha Amrinon. Lemisha also. Where do we say this? You guys that already have the Mesiftas and everything else, think about it for a second. If you didn't learn this, where do we say these words? Lemi sha'asa laveisenu velanu eskol hanisim oelu. Everybody says it. When do you say it? Haggadah shel Pesach. So again, we're saying Lemi sha'asa laveisenu velanu eskol hanisim oelu. Amalei, no song for that. Asa mucha milsa man avadinise kujabrichu. Then it's obvious who he's talking about, because he's talking about Lemi sha'asa lanu nisim. Once he says the word nisim, that means he's referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if he just says, Lemisha Achal Mishaloi, he might be referring to his host. Rabbi Yochanan, Baruch Shachal Mishaloi, Harei Talmud Chacham. Ala Mazin Shachalnu, what's wrong with Ala Mazin Shachalnu? He's almost making a bracha, a benching on the food rather than HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Harei Zebur. Omer Rabbanim Bereder Rav Yishmael Amar El B'Shloisha. The lekeshem shomayim. Av ba'asara dikeshem shomayim muchach hamilsa. When a person says Nevarach Elokeinu ala mazon shochalnu, then he talks about the mazon, but he just said Elokeinu. So obviously he's talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so there's no problem. So it's interesting. When I was reading it, I had a little bit of a problem here. The end of the Mishnah. Where's our Mishnah? The big Mishnah, and it says the way he tells you, that's how we answer. You see the problem here? What does he say? Baruch Hashem Elikei Yisrael Elikei Hatzvakos Yoshev Hakruvim Ala Mazon Shochalnu. So the Gemara is proving from our Mishnah alone that you say Ala Mazon Shochalnu, that we're talking about the food, and it's not a problem. Why is it not a problem? Because we're saying Hashem Elikeinu. We're saying Hashem Elikei Yisrael Elikei Hatzvakos. Obviously, everybody knows that we're not talking about the food. We're not saying a bracha on the food. We're saying a bracha to Hashem that made the food. My issue was that it says in the Gemara, Ke'inyan shu mevarach kach oine machrov. Why doesn't it just say Ke'inyan shu mevarach? In his bracha, he says these exact same words. All the Mishnah says is that the person that hears it should repeat the same words that he said. So why is the Gemara bringing a raya from the second part of the Mishnah and not the first part? So then I look in the side and it says that we're not goyres it. So in the Mishnah, we have to go back to the Mishnah and read it again. That when you have 10,000 people, Oimer nevarach l'Hashem Elokeinu Elikei Yisrael Elikei Tzvakos Yoshev Hakruvim Ala Mazon Shochalnu, you scratch those words. Ala Mazon Shochalnu doesn't belong in the Mishnah. Only the people that answer that, they stick in Ala Mazon Shochalnu. That's why the Gemara brought it right from them and not from the guy that said it to begin with. It's very interesting. Echad Asar, yeah? Echad Asar v'Echad Asar Riboy. The Mishnah starts off saying that it doesn't matter if there's 10 people or 100,000 people, you say Nevarach Elokeinu Shechalim Shlo, you don't add anything else. Haguf v'Kashu, how's that possible? Even if it's 100,000, it's all the same. There's no difference in the nusach. Even, we said in Siyam Shas, 92,000 people, a guy gets up there and says Nevarach Elokeinu Shechalim Shlo. He doesn't say Yoshev Hakruvim Ala Mazon blah 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 blah. Nothing. Just Nevarach Elokeinu. Why? And then a second later in the same Mishnah it says, 100 you stick in another Hashem, and 1,000 you say two more words, 10,000. What's going on here? It's Rebbe Kiva that says that you don't add anything. Even 100,000, it's the same as we say today. That's it. And it's Rebbe Yitzhak Lili that says there's a difference. Every amount has another type of bracha. Depending on the group, the size of the group. On that, Rebbe Kiva answers that just like in Shul, if there's 1,000 people in Alexandria, they also said, Baruch Hu Hashem Vayrach. There's no other nusach for 1,000 people versus 10,000 people. So Mela, when it comes to benching, there's no different nusach. Rebbe Kiva, what does he do with Makilois Baruch Hu Elikim? How do you know that the baby's in the stomach? They said Shira by Kriyas Yamsuf Shenemar b'Makilois Baruch Hu Elikim Hashem Mimkar Yisrael Mimkar V'idach Mikar Nafka. Rabbi Saglili learns it out from the word Mikar. Mikar is always referring to the baby, the womb, the Mikar. It seems like some learn that Rebbe Kiva himself also learns from Mikar. They're not mechulik on that word. That's what Mikar means, baby. Makilois doesn't mean baby. Mikar means baby. Just he learns from there that everybody said Shira, whatever the pshat is. Omar Rava, halacha ki Rebbe Kiva. The halacha is like we do today. You just say Baruch Elokeinu Shechalim Shaloi, no other nusach. Ravina v'Rav Chama bar Buzi iklo lebeis Reish Galusa. They were at the Reish Galus's house. Kom Rav Chama v'Ka Mahad Rabbi Meah. He was searching. He was so excited. He finally has the opportunity to say a special nusach that nobody ever says. You need 100 people for that. So he's trying to gather the groups. Sit down. Let's do this. And it's chashav, right? What's more important to say Baruch Elokeinu Shechalim Shaloi or just Baruch Shechalim Shaloi? Obviously Elokeinu. And if you could say Hashem Elokeinu, it's even better. And you could say this whole nusach, it's better. Forget about it. Don't bother. The halacha is like Rebbe Kiva that you say Baruch Elokeinu and that's it. Now, It's very interesting. The Mishnah Berurah points out, and this is halacha l'maisa, that if you're in a room with, let's say, 9 people, you should go look for the 10th person, because now you can say, Elokeinu. And if the guy didn't eat with you, what do? You give him a piece of lettuce, because just a piece of lettuce, you give him starve with us. He can't be mizamen, he can't lead us, but he give him starve. And then the Mishnah Berurah goes on further. What if you have 7 people? And he says, yes, you should try to look for 3 more people to get to the 10 people. Omar Rava, it's awfully quiet. Nobody has questions? Make it a shtickle exciting, something? Oh, no, not you. Hillel, you already asked your kasha. Yeah, what? No, we don't make up. There's no makeups. When I said 2 questions per share, I was serious. What? So you have 6? How many questions do you have? 6 questions, okay. Yeah, we have plenty of time. No, go. Where?
It's your fault.
I started. That question, wait for after. I don't know. All right. Amar Rava. Ki achlina rifta beireish. Not everybody at the same time. Ki achlina rifta beireish gelusa meverchino tlasa tlasa. What's going on here? The Reish Golos, the head of what?
You want to sing another song? I got a video technical issue.
Again?
Yeah, I got a phone call in the middle.
Avi, you're fired.
What?
That's no vibe. Okay, but we're going to go on.
7.5 years worth.
That one on top.
That one is from beginning to end? Okay. Yeah, but that one is not as clear. Okay, fine. All right, so you have the Rosh Golus' house. Imagine the head of Klal Yisrael sitting there, giant house, whatever, a lot of people, a lot of noise, a lot of commotion, and they're all eating the Suda. Says the Gemara, Rava said, when we ate there, we would break off. So, similar to what we do today at Chasnas. I see people do it. You have to leave early. You ask 2 guys quietly, let's do a quick zimun, and we're out of there. So, that's what they did. Mevarchinon tlasa tlasa. V'levarchu asara asara. What? Who says that?
If you're mechuyev already with the Sarah, you can't be there unless you have.
But you have an emergency. You have emergency. You have emergency. Most people go to Chasanas.
Everyone has a man before the chasnas if you have to do it.
Okay? Ask the Gemara. You turned off your phone option? V'levarchu asara asara. You know, it happened to me also on Motzei Shabbos. Because Motzei Shabbos, you forget to put that do not disturb thing. V'levarchu asara asara. It's much better to say zimu with 10 people, we said. So why are they doing 3? Go on a little table, make 10. Says the Gemara, Shomer Reish Gelusa v'ikped. There'll be a problem. The Reish Golus doesn't want to make chaburos in his house. So in Mela, they did 3. They did it so the Reish Golus shouldn't notice. V'nifku be'brachos the Reish Gelusa. So let them just be yaitza with the bracha of the Reish Golus. He's going to be mizamen. What's the problem? And Rashi points out that they waited around for the Reish Golus to make a zimun anyways. So if they're waiting, so why can they be patient and wait for the Reish Golus to do it? Says the Gemara, I did the afshu kula alma lo shomi. There's so much noise in the room. There's a lot of commotion. So he would bench, and they couldn't hear him. And here we learn another halacha. Another very important halacha l'maisa is that when you bench, you have to hear the guy that's benching, the guy that's leading. He should say every word out loud, and you have to listen to every word that he says, at least until Hazanas HaKol. And that's what they were saying. They might hear Rabbi Yisrael Varech, great, but they were concerned that they're not going to hear every single word of his benching all the way through to Hazanas HaKol, and that was a problem. Omer Rabbi Toisva, at least, right. It should be all the way to the end, but at least, l'chatchilo, you have to hear all the way to Hazanas HaKol. Shkoyach. Oh. Hani tlosa de karchi, says Rabbi Toisva. Hani tlosa de karchi rifta b'adei adodi. V'kodem chad minayu u'borach l'daitei. Right? So we have 3 people eating. 3 people eating. The pizza is coming in slowly. Not to make chaburas and hurt my feelings. Pretend I don't see it.
Are you the Reish Gelusa?
The Reish Golus. The mamish went to my head. 3 people that were eating. Rabbi Isai, according to Noam, have in mind that you're going to do 3 and run. You're not going to wait for the zimun of 10.
That's only a Noam's wedding.
By the way, we could maybe do a zimun of 100 over here. We could do a zimun of 100. But we don't. We do Nevarch Elikenu.
Only by Noam's wedding. By Noam's wedding, you have to make a kavanah.
I got it. But that's already was.
More than
Well, you weren't paying attention last week? What bracha to make on pizza? Okay. There were 3 people that were eating together. And when the 3 people, one of them is not allowed to leave. He benched anyways. Says the Gemara, amazing chiddush here. The other 2 could still do zimun even though he benched. He himself cannot be yoytze zimun. You know what's going on here? It almost doesn't make sense. He cannot be part of the zimun. He's not yoytze by himself, but you could use him as zimun. What's the pshat? So the Shita says because he's still chayv in zimun. He never got rid of his chiyuv of zimun, so memela, you could use him. But he himself cannot be yoytze. Why? Because he can't go retroactive. Very interesting. And the Rosh says that he shouldn't be any worse than a guy that's eating vegetables. That's what he says. He ate bread. He's done eating because he already benched. But he shouldn't be worse as a guy that ate vegetables that could be starved to them. That's what the Rosh says. Okay, you don't have lettuce in this. In a situation. Yeah. Now they were passing like that. Listen to this chiddush that I saw. I hope I'm right in this. Look it up. That's what the Shita says. He's still chayv in zimun. That chiyuv never left. But he cannot be yoytze for the rest of his life because he already benched. But you could use that chiyuv for you. Listen to this chiddush. This really, I don't get exactly. But he says like this. In halach is brought down. If 10 people were eating and 3 people at a wedding made their own zimun, the 7 that are left could use the 3 that already benched and did zimun. Because they already were yoytze zimun. They already have 0 zimun to them. They have no zimun left in their bodies. You can use them. That's what he says. That's the halacha. Over here it's different. The zimun's still hanging around him. He just can't use it. Over there, they already were mizamin. 7 plus 3. You get a full 10. Full 10. You're using them 3 as a 10. All right, let's go weiter. It's late. The other wants to eat pizza. Lefi shein zimun afraid can't go retroactive. Rabbi Shmuel Omer Rafram Bar Papa Ikla lebei knishta Davi Gibor. Come. So we have in the Mishnah Machloikis. How do you say? Do you say Barchus Hashem Amavarach or Barchus Hashem? How do we do today? Amavarach, and that's based on Rabbi Shmuel. Says the Gemara. Rafram Bar Papa went to a shul. Come Kara Besifra. He was reading from the Torah. Va'amar Barchus Hashem. He didn't say Amavarach. Like who? Like Rebbe Kiva. Afshukuli Alma, and they all scream out. It seems like they went a little bit louder than usual. You know, what are you talking about? But they had to answer, so they answered with the Mevairach. Omarava Pasyu Ukma. You're like a black pot, he called him. Meaning, like a Talmud Chacham, that in those days it was hard, they only had one shirt, one whatever. Like, look, Ayin in the stories about Rav Shach, one, and it became black, and they didn't have time to wash it. Call him a black pot. You're like a Talmud Chacham, but they pluked the lamelach. Why are you sticking your head into the machlokes of Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel? V'oid hanog almok Rabbi Shmuel. Everybody agrees that to say a mevayrach is better than without a mevayrach, and the halach is like Rabbi Shmuel. So why get involved? Rashi says, "Shaf Rabbi Kiva moeded the chiyam mevayrach tfei adif." Even Rabbi Kiva admits. So why do you have to do that? No point. Says the Mishnah. We mentioned it in the beginning of the Amud. You have 3 people. It's also for you to break up the zimun. V'chein arba, v'chein chamisha. Shisha, nechlokim adasara. If you have 6 people, you can break it up into 2 groups of 3. If you have 9 people, break it up into 3 groups of 3. V'asara ein nechlokim achu esrim. Now, if you have 20 people, then you can make 2 groups of 10. But if you have 10 people, you're not allowed to break it up. 2 groups of people that were eating in one house. If part of the group could see the other part of the group, then they could do one giant zimun. They're all part of the meal. They can't see each other even though they're in the same The sushi? Let's do it after. Let's bring it after. The sushi's not going to get cold. In those days, the wine was extremely strong. They would put 3 parts water, 1 part wine. Rav Schoenberg back in Avodah Zarah explained to us also that in those days they didn't have the filtration. They had all the bacteria in the water, so they would add wine to kill out the bacteria. That was the way they drank. But the original wine, the way it was, straight out of the grape, they didn't drink. So you have to pour water into it in order even to make a brach on it. If you don't, the Gemara is going to discuss that you make a bayri priyates on it. On wine that's not diluted bayri priyates. Regardless, even though it's real wine, you still make a bayri priyagofen, even though it's undiluted. Right, so I thought about it. I think you have to say pshat, obviously, that they have to go. They need to go. There's a doichak. But yeah, you're right. Beroiv Melis, 20 people is better than 10. You're right. What? It's usher? If you're already there, you're already 20 people. Okay, let's go weiter. Michael Mashmalon. Tanina Chod Zimna. We already learned Shloisha Shachlu Gachas Chayim Lezamen. What is the Mishnah telling us? That Shloisha Shachlu Gachas Ein Rishon Lecholik. They can't break it up. We already know this halacha. Says the Gemara, 3 pshatim. Hakam Mashmalon. Ki hada Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Shmuel Shloisha Shachlu Lechol Kachas Vadayin Le'ochlu Einon Rishon Lecholik. Amazing chiddush. If 3 of us sat down, we said I'm mighty, but we didn't eat yet, I'm not allowed to break it up. I would think that I have to put food in my mouth and then I can't break up the group, even before I put food in, or even before I ate a kazayas. I cannot break it up. Listen, Achrina, another pshat. I would think that this whole zimun business is when they all eat from the same bread. But if each one had their own role, they are not mitzdarif, then they could break up. Then they're not allowed to break up. Inami. Listen to this. This is a little complicated, this one. You have 9 people. And from each, there was 3 groups of 3. 3, 3, and 3. And each group, 1 person left the group to create a 4th group. Okay? 1 person, I should have made a chart. 1 person from each group leaves, and now you have a new 3. Now the new 3 is not allowed to break up. They became a new group. They are not allowed to break up. Says Rav Chizda, that's because they came from 3 groups made of 3 each. This is only if the original groups didn't do zimun for them. Says Rashi that there was 4 people, and 3 of them made zimun together. This guy was listening, so he was yoytze zimun. If that happened, that's a problem. If that didn't happen, then you can use. Then he still has a chiyuv of zimun on him, and he makes a new group. But let's say he heard the zimun, his group made a zimun, and he was listening. Let's say he didn't bench yet. He was listening, so his group was already mighty him zimun. He loses his chiyuv of zimun, dissipates, goes away. He can no longer be part of another group to make zimun. Nachamol, you have 3 people, 4 people eating, and 3 of them say, let's bench. Ruvain is the 4th guy out. 3 of them bench. And Ruvain is standing and listening, and he says, I want to meet my friends. They're sitting in that room over there. I'm going to go over there. But he hears, what happened to Ruvain? He just lost his zimun. His zimun went bye-bye. So now that he gets up, Ruvain, and moves to another group and joins other people, he can't say zimun with them.
He said with the 3, he answered them?
Yes.
If he didn't answer them, then he didn't lose it.
It doesn't matter. They did zimun for him. Rashi says the lashon of, he said, he was there. I don't know that Rashi says he said it.
If he didn't take a part of it, he was...
But that's being part of it. That's being part of it. Being that his group is saying it, that's part of it. Now, the Rosh adds, so what's the big chiddush? What is the big chiddush? His group said it, so of course he can't be part of it. Says the Rosh, because he went on and he ate with the other group. You hear Noam? he continued eating a meal with the other guys. So I would think that a new chiyuv was just added to him. It flew away from him. He can't do it anymore. Very interesting raya he brings from Tuma and Tahara to benching. Don't ask questions here. This nan you have a bed that's completely tamei, and some ganav came and took half the bed away. So what happens to the tuma? It dissipates. It goes away. It got lost. Doesn't matter. Half of it went away. But later on, they found the missing piece. From here on out, it's tamei. What about the first tuma? That's gone forever. Since you split it, the tuma leaves forever. Once the zimun chiyuv went away, you can't add another chiyuv of zimun any longer. Shtei chaburos. Tana, im yesh shamish b'neiim, shamish mitzarfon. Listen to this, Rabbi Isai. If you have two groups in two different houses, and you have a waiter that goes between the two houses, what's the halacha? Same exact halacha. They could be in two different places. The waiter connects the two. The waiter connects the two. We mentioned the Mishnah that if the wine is not diluted, you don't make a bayir bir gofen. Ella, bayir priyates. Over here, the Gemara tells us what brachim make, you make hates. Listen to this. You can take this undiluted wine and use it to wash your hands for hamaitzi. Why? Because now it's called mei peiros. It's not wine. It doesn't have chashivas of wine. Mei peiros, the water of peiros. Water of peiros, you can wash your hands with it. But once you dilute it, you think the opposite. Oh, it's such strong wine. No. It's not royer for shtia, it's not royer for wine, so it doesn't have the chashivas, and I could be mevayish it, I could use it for whatever I want. Once I diluted it, and now you just elevated it from a grape to wine. And you make a gofen, and you can no longer wash your hands. Rabbi's side, there's a lot of noise going on here. What's going on here? Is it the food? Yeshua, you make sure that the oilam doesn't talk, okay? Shkoyach. That was just a hint. Sometimes when I want to yell at my son-in-law who's sitting here, I don't yell at him, I yell at my daughter. I say, what are you doing? No, I'm just, never happened, Mayor, never happened. But it's a joke, it's a saying in Yiddish. I forgot how it says, like, the shnur meinte, the tochte zakte, something like that, whatever. It means like, it's like, Yeshua, please make sure that the oilam doesn't talk. Anyways. Yeah.
The makor of the Chardonnay wine that we drink.
Yeah.
When the Romans came to Eretz Yisrael, they said it was Shar Ad Hashem. That's where Chardonnay comes from.
Ma'aseh Shah, you're telling me?
Ma'aseh Shah, Chardonnay, Shar Ad Hashem, for Eretz Yisrael. That's wine we should.
And what's the shaykhs today's daf? Wine. Okay, great. He's saying this Chardonnay, and he's serious. He's a doctor. Dr. Factor says that, look it up on Google, Chardonnay comes from Shar Hashem, Shar Ad Hashem, that the Romans made it up when they came, that the best grapes in the world are from Eretz Yisrael. That's what he says. Ayin Sham. We're going to get 6 emails tomorrow. What?
Now I got the dove.
Either way, whether it's diluted or undiluted, you still make hagofen. And therefore, you cannot wash your hands with very strong grape juice or whatever it's called. And the Gemara is going to explain why. I'll just skip ahead. Because you could still drink it as wine for medicine. Shmuel. Oisa Adam called Sarcha Bepas. You could do anything you want with bread. Kiman Kirib Eliezer. Eliezer says that you can wash your hands with wine, so I could do whatever I want with bread, provided that I don't ruin it. And the Gemara is going to go into these halachas. We'll see exactly. What's a kaisha bracha? Any cup. The Gemara on Nun Aleph says, Rashi says over here, it's a cup of Birkas Hamazon. Kaisha bracha, towards the end of the page on Nun Aleph, he says Birkas Hamazon. But the guy on the side, Agos Tzionim says, it means anything. obviously. Even Kiddush, whatever. When you're making Kiddush, when you're doing Birkas Hamazon, you're using wine, make sure it's diluted. Why? Because you want the proper wine. It's a mitzvah. My time are Avishaya being a mitzvah min ha-mufchar. When you do a mitzvah, do it the proper way. Rabbanan lamay chazi. Why do you make a bayir priyagofen on this undiluted wine? Omer b'zeiro chazi likuryote. You can make medicine out of it. Torah Rabbanan. Arba dvarim nemru b'pas. Rabbi said, I think I knew this halacha, but I wasn't so makbid on it. I have to start being makbid. Sometimes, like you cut your hamaitzi and you like give a little toss. Zazi says, no, that's a big no. Everybody knows that, Rabbi. Okay. Arba dvarim nemru b'pas. You don't put raw meat on the bread. Why? It's disgusting. You're not going to eat the bread anymore. You can't bring a full cup of wine over the bread because it might spill on the bread and you're going to ruin it. And you shouldn't lean a dish. I try to get away with that one. No. You're not allowed to throw bread. Even if it doesn't get ruined, even if it's going to land nicely on your child's plate, do not throw the bread. What? They throw it lechatchila? Okay. L'tzarech mitzvah shani. Zok the Gemara, Amir Marzutra, they said the Sfaradim throw the bread so that there's no hefsek. Amir Marzutra Ravashi Korchu Rivta Badei Adodi. They're all eating bread. They brought dates and pomegranates. Shakal Marzutra, Potak L'kamei de Ravashi Dastana. So Marzutra threw what? What would you think he threw? The Gemara starts off, he had dates and pomegranates, and he threw, says Rashi, he threw meat. What's pshat? So they discuss it. A lot of people say that Rashi didn't really mean that he threw meat. Otherwise, why would it start? It should say they brought in front of him meat, and he threw the meat. Why say they brought a pomegranate and he threw meat? Okay, maybe what? So don't say that they brought pomegranate. Why is the shaykhis? What's? Yeah, but has no shaykhis. Anyways, I'm assuming that it means that he threw one of these pomegranates, and that's is just like a shiur or something like that. Oh, we learned you're not allowed to throw food. That's halacha regarding bread you're not allowed to throw, but food that's not going to get ruined, you're allowed to throw. But it says mefurish, you shouldn't throw any food. Let me be Jewish, I'll ask a question right back at you. It says mefurish, that you're allowed to throw food. You're bringing me a kasha from a place that says you're not allowed to throw food. I bring you a place that says you're allowed to throw food. Eloi kasha, habemidi de mimis. There's an afkimina. If something is going to get ruined by landing on the floor,
Throwing an apple is okay.
So throwing an apple, that's what Rashi says. Nuts, apples, things that like walnuts is not a problem. If it's going to get damaged and get a boo-boo, and then you're not going to eat, that's a different problem. Throwing. Just like, it's anywhere, from here to there. It's a question of bizi oichlim if I'm going to ruin the food. The question, Rashi uses the term hefsed oichlim. Ruining food, it's also a problem. But it's part of bizi oichlim, ruining food. Ton Rabbanan, here goes. I would think it's something similar to what we have today, like fountains. A wine fountain. Are you allowed to use it? Yes, as long as you can catch it and it doesn't go on the floor. So what are you doing? You're doing something nice for the chassan and kala. It's bizi oichlim. No, it has a purpose. And you can drink the wine afterwards. It's okay. You're allowed to throw in front of them toasted grain and nuts. Even if your nut, the walnut has a heavy, what is it called? Not a shell, but if it lands in the mud, you're not going to eat it. So don't do it in the winter time. This one I had a big problem with because Rashi says gluskois. I thought it meant cake. And then I look in Rashi. Rashi says it means bread. But bread, we just said you cannot throw bread. So what's the big chiddush? So that's why some say that Rashi didn't really mean it. What? No. Bread you're not allowed to throw regardless of mos or not. Bread is halacha of chashivas. You have to treat bread with a lot of respect. Nothing to do, thank you. Nothing to do with ruining it. That's the chiddush in bread. No matter what. Exactly.
You don't have to say it even.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, but you were mechal.
What? Cake has the same halach as bread, as he's saying.
Guskos is bread.
No, yes. Guskos is bread.
Yeah.
Rashi says that.
I don't know. Maybe not here. Yeah, but that's what Rashi holds, they say. Where is it? Okay. Fine. Zog the Gemara. We're almost finished. A person puts food in his mouth. It happens all the time. Oops, I forgot to say a bracha. What do? There's three things that you can do. There's three options. Either you swallow, or you spit it out, or you put it to the side of your mouth. What do? Loikashya. It's referring to liquids. To spit it out is impossible. You're ruining it. And to put it to the side of your mouth is also a big problem. So what do? You swallow it. Do you make another bracha afterwards or not? Most Rishonim hold you don't make a bracha afterwards. If, let's say, a candy, you could take a candy out. A lot of people take candies out, they put it on the side and they put it back in. That's not considered mimis. Depends on the person. Gum, different things. Then what do? You take it out. Obviously, you want to take it out. It's much better that it shouldn't be in your mouth. And what is it referring to when you put it to the side of your mouth? You don't want to swallow it because you want to say a bracha, be yaitza, so you put it to the side of your mouth and you could. We're almost finished. Top of Nun Aleph. What's the problem with the varach? Tirgamer of Yitzchak Kaskesa Kamed Rabbi Yosi Barav Mishmed Rabbi Yochanan. Mishum Shenemar. Listen to this. So the question: are you allowed to have gum in your mouth while you daven? It says in the pasuk, Mishum Shenemar Yimolei Pi Tihilosecha. Your mouth should be full of my davening and nothing else. You shouldn't have anything in the side of your mouth. Have a wonderful week. Tomorrow, 7:15. Shkoyach. Mazel tov.